And we're back for another episode. In this episode, we're going to be doing the level 80 Astrologian quest in Final Fantasy XIV. And as always, hello from Mithrie. So we are here in Ishgard in the Astrologicum at 1510, and we need to talk to Janquinard. The quest is called Love Astrologically. So something mayhap the stars tells you that Janquinard would like a word or 200. Mithrie, you always seem to know the precise moment at which your services are required. Such is the mark of an accomplished astrologian, if I do say so myself. Which would, of course, imply that you are already aware of what I would ask of you. Yet I shall indulge you with the request nonetheless. It is Master Rufin following our return from Kugane. She has been distant. Well, more distant than usual. Enough to give one pause at least. I thought I might ascertain a source of her worriment with the deck of 60, but was presented the usual slumgullion of vague portent and portentous vagaries. By the time I unwrapped my throbbing head from the spread, all I could discern was something about a dark wind blowing from the east. I suppose that this could imply any number of things. Ill tidings from our allies in Doma, a rainstorm brewing over the Black Shroud, a fire at the fine patisserie near the Ark of the Venerable. Why, I suppose even you could be the Dark Wind. No, right. Let's simply say that I am worried about our companion, but I am at a loss as to how I might help her. Laveva has been spending much of her days up at the last vigil, staring blankly out over the sea of clouds. I've attempted speaking with her, but the lady is about as receptive as my concerns as one might expect. Perhaps so she would prove more forthcoming with her star pupil? Okay, well, let's go find Lady Laveva. Okay, so we caught up with Lady Laveva. It will never work, but I was a fool to think... Oh, Mithrie, just a woman I wanted to see. You might remember our good... might you remember Koyakuho? Lanky fellow, disheveled hair, somewhat capable in geomantic arts. Well, it appears his travels will be bringing him once again to Ishgard. Seeing as he has provided me with a wealth of valuable insights into his discipline, the least I could do would be to greet him upon his arrival. Unfortunately, I must see to some unfinished affairs near the architects. Would it be too much to ask for you to visit the FFXIV Plaza in my stead? I shall catch up with both of you later at the Fenium Astrologicum. Alright. Okay, let's go to the FFXIV Plaza. Okay, we caught up with Kayakuho. So, Mithrie, imagine us meeting here. Could it be fate? Ha 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 ha. So, slow down, friend. I've only just arrived in Ishgard, and already you're recruiting me in some urgent cause. You Westerners certainly don't waste your time. I intended this to be but a short visit to discuss how matters have progressed since you vanished Kinko and aided me in restoring my grandfather's wards. However, I suppose all that can wait. To the Athenium, then? Alrighty. Okay, let's go back to the Astrologicum. Okay, we made it back. Go to Kaikuho. It's good to see you again too, Janquinard. Mithrie tells me all is not well with Lady Laveva. So I see someone has wasted little time in informing every rat in the broom of matters that I thought it is obvious were a more personal nature. I'll save the drama for the stage, my friend. Mithrie merely recognized that the intimate connection Lady Laveva and I forged in Kugane made me the perfect candidate for discerning what might be weighing so heavily on her soul. And how do you propose to do that? Do it. I've already done it. Lady Laveva's in love. Well, of course she is. Wait, what? Arch enemy defeated, her father's memory honoured, and a city saved. Lady Leveva has conquered the countless peaks that rose before her with an air of aplomb that would belly her mere 16 summers. And now, bereft of purpose, she has turned her eyes to companionship to fill the void that lies agape in her heart. And I believe I can help. Mithrie, you know that lonely lady's current whereabouts? Those massive stone effigies to raw masculinity. Oh, it is worse than I thought. We must make haste. Okay, so let's catch up with them again. Okay, we caught up with him. Look, there she is. Indeed, there she is, and... And nothing, that's a problem. She's just been standing there. What do you think we should do? I thought you had the answer. So, I'm but a humble student of the geomantic arts. I have little understanding when it comes to matters of the heart. And what, pray tell, are you two doing here? So, greetings and salutations, my dearest Leveva. Aren't you looking most resplendent this fine morning? Resplendent? Spent a few bells in the books, have we? Time will tell if this new vocabulary suits you, but time is not a luxury I am afforded at this moment. The city's din is positively deafening. It stifles my thoughts and upsets my humours. What I require is clarity, something unattainable within these stone walls. The quiet of Camp Dragonhead, however, may provide me with a moment's respite. So, and you may cease with the ridiculous talk of matters of the heart. Love is the furthest of my worries. I, for one, am already promised to another. Already? Promised? Or is he jealous? How is that even? Ah, Koyakuho, there's no need to kneel in my presence. Did I miss anything? I see. It comes as little surprise that one of her social standing would be betrothed at such a young age. She is the custom amongst older houses, even in a city as progressive as Charlian, and she hails from one of the oldest. I suppose it's just that Kukuho, with the vim and vigour from our conversation earlier, and all this upon learning Lady Leveva is to be married, a more astute observant might presume a certain emotional attachment to a young protege. But that would be ludicrous. I, for one, know that Kokuyo's feelings towards Leveva are naught but those of admiration of her skill at the astromantic arts. So let us return to the task at hand. We still do not know what is weighing down on the lady's fragile heart. And what better way to find out than to ask? A novel idea, don't you think? Asking someone what is troubling them rather than assuming, without having actually spoken with them, or even seen them for some time. That they're simply longing for amorous relations? Wonderful. Kyakuho and I shall return to the Athenium, where I will make certain that he refrains from idle meddlement in any other lives. Okay, so we need to go to Camp Dragonhead to find Lady Laveva. Alright, let's talk to her. So, as persistent as always, fine. You have seen through my ruse. I am not, in fact, promised to another. I simply implied as much to silence Kyakuho. Alright, there was a time I was promised to another. We have my grandfather to thank for that. However, since I am now officially deceased, my assumption is that the arrangement will have been annulled. Not that I shall ever bother to actually confirm this assumption. What is troubling me? It was not my intention to involve you or Jankpanard, or even Kyakuho in such matters. However, the discord my silence has sown up perhaps warrants an explanation. Despite repeated efforts following our recent achievements in Kugane, I have been unable to conceive feasible means of blending the teachings of Charlian astrology and those of Far Eastern geomancy. As Kyakuho explained, unlike astrologians who look to the stars above to read their face, geomancers look to the star below and listen to its songs, and draw their answers from its whispers. Yet try as I might, I remain impotent in tapping the land's puissance. I've spent my life attuning to the slight variations in the aether of distant stars, so much so that when I talk to Heidelin and her aether, I am overwhelmed by its potency, its glow, you could say. Think of it as trying to open one of the heaven's gates in a world of everlasting daylight. World of everlasting daylight? About that. You have visited such a place? Then my readings were accurate. Exactly where have your adventures taken you, Mithrie? There's an expansion called Shadowbringers. You have to pay for it. Like processing. Money confirmed. Square Enix says thank you. And you had no trouble channeling the aether from the world's heavens, despite the fact that you never once physically laid eyes upon them? Intriguing. But I am a woman of reason, and shall require more than the word of another. No matter how close, to convince me of this phenomena, a first-hand demonstration, however, might suffice. A single aspected benefit, perhaps? Okay. So, your faculty for etherically conversing with celestial bodies both far and near is peerless. A most eloquent display, and one I should endeavour to learn from. I have committed the most grievous of sins by allowing things such as light, distance, and dimension, things that hold no dominion over the realm ethereal, to prevent me from unbinding my full potential. You, however, helped me to realize the error in my ways. I believe now that I might continue my studies. It's not here. I am unsure why I thought this would be a suitable occasion to ponder my predicament in the first place. Perhaps it was the memories of our first lesson here. Let us hurry back to the Athenium, lest we catch cold. Alrighty, let's go back. Okay, so we caught up with them. Let's talk to Laveva. So, foremost, I believe that I owe you both an apology. Or at least I owe you one, Jankwanad. As for you, Kayakuho. How did you arrive at the ridiculous notion that I was somehow languishing in the throes of love? When Mithrie and Jankwanad mentioned that you were not yourself after returning from Kugane, I simply assumed that. Do you dare suggest that we had any hand in this, Kayakuho? You were not a quarter bell in the pillars before you were telling anyone who would listen about the cavernous maw that yawned in the heart of poor lonely Master Rufin, and how you were to fill it. Lonely? Pah, I am far from lonely. In fact, I've already promised my heart to another. Of course. Already promised to a... Wait, what? You heard me, and I've never spoken a truer word. Whoever could it be? It is certainly not Mithrie, or heavens forfend Kayakuho. There's a thing for inanimate objects? By astrology, of course. Oh, there you go. So, what? Who did you expect, Quimprian? I suppose that you're wondering what brought me to Ishgard in the first place. It most certainly wasn't to ruffle Master Ruffin's feathers, though it seems I have succeeded in that nonetheless. Our triumph over Kinko having restored the people of Kugane's faith in geomancy, it was not long before a gaggle of eager mages were clamouring at my door, seeking guidance in the art of wind and water. To accommodate, I transported my grandfather's study into a place where I might train those who are willing to invest the time and effort necessary to become masters. Which reminds me, my students are likely wondering where their sensei is. Farewell, Mithrie. Doodly doodly. So he came to tell us of his new school of geomancy. Did we not give him a link pearl? At any rate, allow me to thank you once again for the inspiration you provided. Despite being your mentor in matters astrological, I find myself consistently in your debt when it comes to, well, everything else. You are a true friend and confidant, Mithrie. And as always, she has once again failed to acknowledge that it was I who first noticed her change in mood, and that it was my reading that predicted your arrival, and that it was my good judgment that eventually pointed you in her direction. But such is destiny, I suppose. I am simply happy that Lady Leveva is back to her normal self. If aught were to befall her, Rufin would haunt me until the 8th Umbral era. Thank you again, Mithrie. I would say that we make a fine team, but considering you cover the Coral's share of the footwork, I will refrain from any further analogies of a sporting nature. Cool, that's complete. Alright, so we got the achievement, the stars in our faults 4. So anyway guys, that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and as always, goodbye from me, and goodbye from Mithrie. Bye guys.